Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about Secrets of Sulphur Springs Season 2, Episodes 6 and 7. I decided to combine these two and decided to do the 8th episode on a separate video because after the events of the 7 episodes, like, whoa, it's too good. I'll talk about this right now. So, these two episodes pretty much are in conjunction with each other. It's very interesting. Things got very strange. So, like, Griffin, he wants Daisy to go back to her time because she doesn't and have kids. Then her great granddaughter, who is Harper, will not be born. She doesn't want to go back. She knows her mom's spirit is in the house and she wants to stay there. But he's very adamant, telling her, like Harper means a lot to me and all this other stuff. They're building that love relationship between him and Harper. And so, like, she does eventually go back. But, like I said before, the crystal is cracked and it doesn't want to work. It's causing a lot of electrical problems throughout the house. So much so that when Ben's dad was working on stuff, he got electrocuted. Ben's dad has had enough. He thinks the house is haunted. This is the third time he's almost died from that house since being there this season, so he's done. He's out. Other contractors are out too. The family is about to lose the hotel because nobody wants to fix it up and they're running out of money and funds and stuff. So all of a sudden, the house sets on fire down like below. When the fire department gets there and everything, nobody knows who set the fire. There's actually no evidence of the house being set on fire. The house got set on fire during a different part in time, either 30 years in the future or 30 years in the past, or even more than that. So, like I said before, whatever happens in the past and stuff happens here. So, like, now it's getting to the 1960s. Sam is looking for Savannah. He can't find her. Why? She's in the 1930s. So when he goes down the basement, he trips and falls and gets in a coma. When Savannah is in the 1930s, she finds out from Harper about the deeds getting stole. Young Sam is really pissed. I like how determined young Sam is. He doesn't let things go until he can figure things out. And he's very driven and determined. And that's really cool for a little kid to be that way, you know what I'm saying? And so, like, Harper and Savannah, they devise a plan of distraction to get the original deed from the Judge Walker. They get the paper, so Savannah's all like, great, now you can just take it someplace and prove that he stole the land. Then they hear a noise by the bunker. It is Daisy. Griffin was able to get the machine to work by hitting it. Hitting technique. That's what people do to make like electronic stuff work. The only problem with that is when you hit things hard, you jumble around whatever the electrical stuff that's in there, the components, and then it tears up worse. So hitting it doesn't always work, but people still do it. And so Daisy is like, great, I have like my family deed, now we can stay in the house. But Harper doesn't want to do that. Harper tells both her and Savannah that she's taking the document with her in the future. They don't understand why, and Savannah's getting angry. Because, see, the thing is, Harper tells them history has to play out. The house, the farmhouse has to get sold so it can turn into a hotel so that Daisy can live her life however she was supposed to, have kids, then have her. If they change all that, then there's no telling what the future might hold. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, they all return back to their normal time periods. Savannah finds out about Sam. So she goes to the hospital. And once again, I like what they did. They showed that there is a different division within the hospital. One for blacks, one for whites. And so the one for blacks has like black doctors and nurses and stuff. And it's a lot smaller. It is so sad how the world was so segregated back then. And there's still racism that holds on till today. And so she talks to Sam when he's in a coma and pleads for him to wake up so that he can finish his like time machine and do all these great things and stuff like that. After she leaves, he slowly opens his eyes. When she goes there the next day, it turns out he has disappeared. He left in the middle of the night. When she goes back down into the bunker, she finds a note. The note gives her specific instructions, kind of like a Back to the Future thing. He said that he has gone far into the future and that if he's not back in 3 weeks, she's supposed to destroy the time machine. And then when she looks at the dials, he went to the year 2024. Interesting year, since that's supposed to be a big thing politics wise. And so with the rest of the game, Harper and Griffin, they give like the deeds to their parents and tell them what happened. They come up with a plan. They're gonna share the hotel 50-50. That way Jennifer can have her restaurant business and they can keep the hotel. And so that's basically what they're gonna do. When all the kids, including Topher, Zoe, which is one of the twins, what's the other boy? Wyatt. That's it. Wyatt and Zoe, they're the twins' name. They are walking through the house and they're all like, well, hope you're happy, Grace, and everything. And then all of a sudden, something strange happens. Well, first. It's Griffin and it's Harper down in the basement. A weird thing happens to the mirror. It cracks. The glass shatters to the ground and then it starts to get all ghosty, mystified with the blue light, and the blue light just goes up into the house. So they follow it where they find the rest of the kids. Then they travel with it outside. It's some weird ghostly spirit. It doesn't take human form. Now, I still don't know who it is. It could be Grace. Could not be. Don't know yet. So it goes out by the springs and hovers around it, and it just stays there for a good while, singing Amazing Grace in a female voice. Since it's a female voice, and it's a ghostly spirit, then yes, it is a good possibility it is Grace. And then Grace descends into the clouds, and into space, and into heaven. So her spirit has now been freed. She got what she wanted, the truth about her farmhouse and how it was stolen. Because when Harper and Griffin was in the library, they saw how like the judge bought it out, changed it into a hotel, and did all this other stuff. And that every time a non-person of Harper's family would go there, people would get hurt and all this weird ghostly stuff. So then something strange happens. All of a sudden, the front door opens and then it closes. There's nobody walking through. Then camera pans to where all the keys are at, and it goes to the key 205, to room 205. Now I love how this show does practical effects. They don't go the CGI route with a lot of stuff. They go like the keys are on a little wire dangling in the air as it's traveling. You can tell by the movement of how it moves is not CGI. It would have been more smoother if it was. Same thing when the wallpaper was tearing down. It was like all like realistic. And so whatever is holding on to the ghost thing that's holding on to the key opens up the door to room 205, a room that's never been opened, used for storage for the most part. Then all of a sudden, when it opens the door, it's dark in there. You can't really see much. It closes it really fast, and a strange glowing light appears. A orangish red light. It feels very ominous, very demonic and everything. No telling what's going on in there. Won't find out hopefully until episode 8. I have no idea how many episodes in this season. The first season was 11, so far is 8. Wikipedia's not really giving a true explanation, but let's find out. Now, one interesting thing about episode 7 is this love romance blossoming between Griffin and Harper. See, when he goes back into the bunker, Harper is there changing. Well, she already changed, but she's putting the rest of her clothes back on. And so he thinks it's Daisy, and he's mad. He's all like, what are you still doing here? I told you, like, you have to go back to your time. Don't you know how much Harper means to me and everything? So with a smile, Harper turns around. It's like, it is me and stuff. Then towards the end of the episode, right before the spirit is unleashed, they're about to kiss. But they both decide they're not going to do it because it's just too weird. I gotta say, this is really interesting. Disney Channel does have relationships between their characters and stuff. They've done it with like um, so many of their other characters in the past, but I don't think I've ever seen one that was interracial. So that's a huge improvement for Disney Channel and a step up. Because that's something that I don't think they've ever done before. Oh no, wait, I take that back. They did. And Wizards of Waverly Place, because Selena Gomez is half Italian and half Hispanic, and she had a white boyfriend. That's right. So it's been ever since then, and that show came out back when I was in college. So that was a long time ago. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.